long are we above Trash Planet?
We are about for 5 days. There's 1 day
days.
travel time to get there, then we're there for 5 days.
How soon did Celeste or Hana? When did we slot that in for? Because we got a calendar date.
We had the shop junk, the
Shop junk.
Yep, that. Then we were in cryo for 1 week. There was the fight during cryo. There was 1 day travel, which is when Ram apologized to Melv, was ambushed by Amanda, when Hana talked with Melv about the situation. We get to the next station. I don't know if you... Right, okay. We got to the next station. The first day at the station, Celeste and Ram talked halfway through the day. Then she went to talk to Hana.
So, how many days does that lead? My
4
brain
days.
didn't follow that math. Okay.
4 days.
4 days.
So within those 4 days, so like not the next day, but like late second day maybe? Maybe like give Ram a little bit more time, but not enough time to stew. Third day?
Alright.
Alright.
You do realize that this makes it like right after Mindy talks to Hana and they both have that situation going on?
Right, shit, you're right. I gotta time that one as well.
Because that all happened like in pretty quick succession.
You're right.
Ram's getting bullied by everyone.
Yeah.
No, I need to.
Unironically,
raises-
but Celeste.
She raises a good
Celeste's
point.
very much bullying him.
Yeah, Celeste is also bullying. What the fuck?
Celeste bullied him during Shock Space and apologized because that was.
Yes,
very
because I
rude.
apologized. My bullying doesn't count.
However, everyone's bullying Ram over the Mel thing, but Celeste is like, no, I understand. I agree with you. Mel was
Celeste
the one that
was on his side
overreacted.
with that. Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
yeah.
Mel
That.
overreacted.
I'm not bullying him.
The thing is, though,
Lauren's good.
it's
Lauren's
not.
happy.
Melv showed, like, if someone empathied Melv, he showed anger. But otherwise, Melv didn't do anything, right? He just, the audacity of this man to feel angry.
I know, right?
How
However,
dare he?
like the reason why Celeste is like he kind of overreacted with that was because she sees it. Fucking A, they've been broken up for a long time. B, there is no reason for this man to get upset because Ram said a name.
Look, homeboy got burned, okay? Homeboy got burned hard.
You
I
are
think no
defending
reason.
him because you have Hana in your head, but get out of
Look,
my head.
no, I'm saying this.
Come
This
into
is
my
not a
arms.
point of view. Bree is willing to step
Come-
back and be
come-
like,
come-
both these
come-
sides
come.
is fair.
Come into my arms.
No.
No. Oh, I'm wounded. Deeply.
Good. Anyway, so... This will need to take place before the Mindy talk, because Hana is ejecting mentally into space for a little while after that, I think. So...
Alright then. So Mindy talk.
Mindy talk third
probably
day.
Third day. Okay.
This talk before the Mindy talk, because Mindy talk was late third day. So this could be before that. Like, Hana's just like, I got this all handled. That's great. Oh, God.
Oh! What's going on with the Mindy talk, though?
Well, Captain.
Were you not there for that?
No.
You were
He was
there for
not,
that?
He was asleep.
Yo, he was.
not
He
asleep the
was
entire
giving me
time. He was
info.
literally sleeping
Was
the
I?
entire time. He was only awake when you asked him to be. So what happened is Mindy
5
revealed
seconds.
shit about everything to Hana, and Hana revealed shit about himself to Mindy. And they had a very deep, meaningful conversation.
Yep.
Was that the one where you like messaged me in the middle of the night and then I responded back to you?
Yeah. the
Okay,
one.
yeah.
You were
wasn't
you
there.
sent a message in the middle of the night as if you weren't in call.
He
I
was
don't
asleep in
recall.
call. He was
I don't-
asleep.
I don't recall being in call, so I must
You
be
were-
really tired.
You were in call.
I can't believe
You
you're
were very
gaslighting me
much
right
asleep,
now.
and Bree was
I'll
like,
have
"Hey,
you
Chance,"
know-
and you were like,
I-
"Yeah, I'm awake. What's up?"
I'll have you know this is unacceptable of you, Miller's sister. You're not allowed to gaslight me.
I'm sorry, man. You didn't have gaslighting as one of the triggers on your sheet, so I am allowed to.
Excuse me, it's actually right there.
That was a high quality joke.
Hey.
I'm not gaslighting you, Chance. I would never gaslight you. You're crazy.
Yeah, listen, you know-
It's even better because those are the
Into the
exact words
coat,
that
Josh,
Charlie
go.
said. I wouldn't gaslight you, Charlie. Sorry, I wouldn't gaslight you, Castle. I never do that. Castle. Castle. You don't even know what gaslighting means. You're right.
You right, homeboy? Oh, fuck. That's... anyway.
How Charlie doesn't get in trouble. I don't understand that.
Okay, so this is early third day.
Okay.
At this rate, I should make a timeline, but I
Early third day or second day?
It's coming
Because
back
you
to
said
me.
second day
It's
before.
coming back to me.
No,
I'm remembering.
because
You
we're
are?
giving first day. Okay, it's first day. There's day 0, which is when
Day
Hana and
0.
Celeste talk.
Yeah.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
so day 1 is Ram. You get your Google invite. You get your heads up. Here's what we're going to be discussing this, and this. We're going to let you think on that ahead of time. We're not just going to drop this on you. And we'll
Say
discuss
that, but I
this
have done
tomorrow.
zero thinking. Okay. She goes to talk to Hana. Harkin picks up the box and the robots was on day 1 too, or day
Yep.
2?
Day 1.
Day 1. Okay.
And when does Harkin get back?
Harkin gets back late day 1.
Late day 1.
Yeah, because that was like an old day affair.
Okay.
Day 2. Ram think.
Okay,
about
this might need to be
incoming Hawk.
this might need to be day 2 then, because
Alright,
day 1 you have Ram to think. Day 2, early day 2, if we have this talk. Then day 2, I can get my mind blown by Mindy, because Mindy blows my mind after they come back with Harkin.
Mindy blows your mind after they come back with Hawk, but that's on day 3.
No, Harkin's back late day 1.
Alright then. Late evening, Mindy talks to Hana. Okay, cool.
I need to make more note boxes. Give me a moment.
I'm also having to make more note boxes. My timeline's getting out of control, guys.
Good.
Help! Okay. Delete. 10, 24, 2021. So there's 4 days above Trash Planet.
Five days above Trash Planet.
Shit.
You were so close and yet so far. So, when this talk actually happens, what is happening and where are we doing it?
Good question. Okay, so we're bringing up the following points. I have them in my notes. Let me grab them. So these are the notes of which, the points, if you will, the talking points. I'll put them in OC.
It's a talking point.
Yes, Hana is being very official about this. This is important. We gotta talk about this.
Hilarious. Oh my god.
Otherwise, I mean, like, look, sometimes it shows that he's besties with Amanda, okay?
Yep, nope, sometimes it do. There's a reason he and 2 had a very good talk when they actually did talk.
Yeah, so, these.
Alright. Oh my god.
Okay, this is literally verbatim what I wrote down from the RP. So this is what we're talking about. Imagine bullet points with them. There's a footnote, or not a footnote, like an asterisk stating, a PS, if you will, that these are by no means true statements. This is all theoretical with no evidence at the moment, which is why they wish to discuss this. If Ram tries to talk to Hana after he has presented you with this that night, Hana will be like, "No, you need to think about this on your own. We'll talk tomorrow."
You get the most dead-eyed stare.
Blinks. I'm trying to make there's many different factors in this, and I'm just managing it best I can.
Doc, I sent it to you so I wouldn't have to talk to her again, for fuck's sake.
There is a large amount of misunderstanding here, and I think it really needs to be addressed.
Is this how maybe Celeste stops hating Hana, and then they can bond over their shared
Our shared love of many things.
our shared love of like all of our hobbies are actually the same hobby.
Guns? You too? Oh my god, collecting? Bitch!
Oh my god.
Insects and plants? Oh my god!
Oh my god. You also watch like stupid nature shows that everyone else hates?
Of course I do!
Why do we hate each other? Why do we ever hate each other?
Why do you hate each other? Stop hating each other!
Because you're a raging jealous bitch and I'm paranoid!
You forgot that I'm racist.
I don't care.
Oh, you're right. Halos are also racist. It's like two peas in a pod.
It's time.
Yay, superiority complex.
No.
High five.
No, we don't need two! We don't need two! They're too powerful together!
The high five is deafening. Heard throughout the entirety of the ship.
It echoes throughout the universe. It's the sound of a best friendship.
Hana's hand stings for the rest of the I detest
It's-
hands.
It's just like the first time, when the Terrans and the Halos work together. It's just history repeating itself.
History repeats itself indefinitely. Let's go build a
We're
war
not going
machine.
back down that path. We're not going back down that path.
Anyway, sorry. Sidebar aside. The
That is not a
future that Ram
possibility. I'm
is...
sorry, Ram is traumatized.
Ram wakes up from a horrible dream. He's like, no.
No. I must sabotage this meeting so that they do not become friends.
They cannot. It's been 7 years of peace.
He's quite literally considered that. You gave him a whole day to think of reasons why he could do that.
I need to sabotage this meeting. I can't handle them both being friends.
He just thinks about it for a second. He's like, nope.
No. Your friends can't be... It's like your friend groups merging. It's like, that cannot happen.
I hang out with them for different reasons, and they should never interact.
It's already dangerously close when Hana hangs out with Ash.
It really is. It's too much. Ram gets like, I'm gonna go be somewhere else now vibes.
He can't stand being here. Alright, so then, yeah, so Hana will say, it doesn't matter if you were trying to avoid her. Discussions are made to resolve issues and sometimes create them. But in this case, we're hoping to find some sort of common ground. Because she has some very severe accusations, both towards me and towards you. I stood my ground concerning them, but I do believe it's worth addressing in the case that there is something in related to these points, boop, 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 point, that I'm not capable of seeing.
Doc, how much exactly of what happened did she tell you, or did she just tell you we had an argument?
She didn't tell me really anything of what you just... It was more of she came to me with her concerns about many things. Concerning me. Primarily, using towards other people, primarily yourself, and power imbalances and things like that.
So we're gonna go talk her out of her stupidity. Alright, cool, fine.
We're going to find common ground and cite evidence. So gather your evidence. I'm gathering mine.
Ram picks Hana up. Oh, look, I got mine.
That's not how this one works.
Too late.
I will not be playing favorites in this, Ram.
This isn't favorites, Doc. You've got more brain cells than I do.
Yes, but you have thoughts independent of mine, as it turns out.
Fancy that. Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons she's wrong.
Then discuss that with her tomorrow.
Fine.
Han. Ram, yeah, I'm gonna let Hana speak for me. Celeste, see? Think for yourself.
I don't wanna, I'm lazy. That would have been funny, actually, if Ram just was like, hey, here's my points, just as Hana. Continue.
No. Try again.
Alright, how are we doing this?
All right, where are we meeting? Where is the Google Meet location set as?
Well, if I'm gonna beat Celeste to smithereens again, it should be somewhere private where I won't get in trouble with Hash.
Beat Celeste to smithereens.
I detest violence.
Good for you.
Good for you. I don't know. Where's a nice little? Do we have like little meeting rooms? Can we borrow
Meeting
no,
rooms? We do not!
The closest thing to
We
a
do
meeting
this
room
via
is
Zoom.
Rye's office.
Elevator.
Yeah,
The
I think
elevator.
Rise offers.
Oh, yes! Great
I mean-
memories.
Hana, for one, is okay with using Rise office, but I know that's a touchy subject for Ram right now, and I
Ram doesn't
don't.
give a shit about Rye's office. Go to Rye's office. for fuck's
Okay,
sake.
okay. We will all meet at 12 o'clock in Rise office.
Jesus
That way,
Christ.
if anything escalates, we have Nurse Joy there.
I don't know if that's gonna help matters, but sure.
I like to think that Hana spoke with Joy, just like, look, we're gonna be meeting in here. Should things get terrible, which I strictly hope they don't, just be on call.
Ram checks the schedule, he's like, alright, cool. 6 isn't on the cameras, that means Hash isn't on the cameras. We've got Celeste with us. We're free.
Alright. So the meeting is established.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, the meeting's established. I'll just move everyone into a room. Robbie's there.
Oh, well,
His
Robbie,
imposing body.
Robbie doesn't need to be there.
Are you gonna move Rob? Are you gonna tell Robbie to go to the med bay?
Robbie can chill in the med bay for now. We don't.
Alright. Robbie goes to stand in his spot in the med bay.
Sorry, Robbie.
Thank you, Robbie.
Robbie has no emotions. He cares not for your thanks.
Attaboy. We got our fucking Mexican standoff here.
But as he was
Full guns.
programmed, because he, is accepting your orders, he gives you a thumbs up. As his program states.
Yes, thank you, Mindy. Everyone comes in, a third chair has been brought. Like, there's the meeting, so there's the desk, and there's the 2 chairs, but they're arranged in such a way that everyone has their own side of the table.
This is the worst. This is the worst.
Celeste is I also like to imagine everyone has a different posture while they're sitting down.
Yes. Quickly describe your postures, go.
Ram is slumped, so you can, he's hunched, he's got his hands in his pockets, and he's just staring at the table.
Celeste is just leaning right back, legs kicked out. They would be on the table, but she kind of has a little bit of respect to Rise, so they're not on the desk.
Hana is sitting. His posture isn't perfect, but it's not bad either. It isn't professional, but he is very, casual, but also we're here to get something done.
He's purposeful. He's got
The
a thing to do.
purposeful.
and
The
he wants-
posture of someone who has to go to marriage counseling.
Ugh.
I have a forbidden word in Ram's presence.
What?
Commitment, sweats.
Funny you say
That's
that.
Hana.
That's both of you.
I was just like, you want to put a ring on my finger? Ha! That's not in my culture.
Hana says like a liar.
not my culture. The others can have it. They're separate cultures.
I'm allergic to the band.
I'm allergic to certain metals. They pull out a silicone ring. Oh, shit.
Yeah, fuck. What about one of those rings that's made out of, ancient fossil bone?
Well, that's just wasteful.
It came like this.
It came like this. It's a thingy.
Yeah, exactly. Technically, it's not a lie.
So-
Alright, so they all rock
Good.
up. They end up
Yeah.
slouched and not slouched around the table.
Yep. Good
Nobody
afternoon.
says anything except for Hana. Good afternoon.
So everyone has received the points, so we've all thought about this ahead of time, correct?
Looks the way.
Been thinking about it for a while.
Alright, great.
Celeste looks at Ram pointedly.
Looks away.
Jesus! The fuck was that?
That was a
That
buzz.
was- Oh, I got a text. 1 second, this is a work text, I actually have to check this.
Okay, so that's just like a long, awkward silence.
What the fuck is this?
Another crisis.
It's a canon work text.
Yeah, 1 second. Amanda texted me.
Actually important things to deal with. Everyone awkwardly waits as Hannah checks and texts on his phone.
Shut up.
It's only awkward if you care about it.
Yeah, that can be handled later. Apologies,
That's
Trent
totally-
needed me to work on something.
I'll go on then. You're
No,
the, what's it called? Master of this meeting? Leader?
To some degree, it doesn't really need to be that formal, just more just to make sure everyone's here and understanding the points we're talking about. We're not going to be timing anything. There's no don't speak over each other rule, but if we can be civil, it'd be appreciated on all parties. I have to turn down Shipbreaker. It's so loud in my ears right now, I can't think. Alright, there we go, sorry.
You okay over there?
My brain is a little ADHD right now. He says, so as we're all aware, 2 days ago, roughly, about 1.5, Celeste came to me addressing some issues, the issues of which, as follows, were concerns over manipulation towards other crew members,
Celeste nods her head.
power imbalances in relationships,
Nods her head again.
along with some other worries, which I believe we have privately worked out. And he looks at Celeste.
She
Rem kinda
looks.
sneers.
She looks to him and then says, "To an extent, yes. I think we have."
Good enough. The reason that you have been involved, Ram, is that some of these points, and god damn it, Trent. One
Oh, it's good. It adds to it.
The atmosphere is so incredibly awkward. I'm loving it.
Oh, no, sorry. It's. Hi, Trent. You continue to use the 5th generator until the 3rd shift. Yes, we know that already. Why are you texting? He puts his space phone down. Apologies. As I was saying.
This is what happens when you miss movie night.
Rolls his eyes. He's talking about the 5th inning or something like that. Sports. Should not be using the engineers group chat for it. Anyway. The reason you're involved, Ram, is because some of these points involve you. And there is a uncommon ground between Celeste and I, of which I will not pretend to know exactly how you... I'm muting it. This is absurd. It's
This actually, in character, this makes Ram relax a little bit. He sits up a bit straighter.
where's my goddamn do not disturb, and you pulls out a secondary work phone are getting turned off. fucking garbage.
Tough to be popular.
Shouldn't you take those if you're so important?
They're not important. That's the bullshit of it all. That phone is still on. Fucking
That's the bullshit of it all.
Honor is just like his fucking artillery belt of phones.
Fuck, wrong one. That's for poker. Shit. He's just like falling all over the floor like the spaghetti out of the pocket meme. He just starts crying.
All right. That should handle it.
Huffing and puffing as he comes back.
Imagine he walks out for a bit and comes back after being like to Sai and Trent, don't use the group chat unless it's for work, please.
Celeste and Ram just stare at each other.
Celeste actually isn't staring at Ram because, you know,
Oh?
she has no reason to just like glare at him the entire time. That's weird.
I mean, it's just more like it's an awkward situation. They're the only two in the room and they're not talking.
She actually does do the age-old sage of environmental's been acting up again.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really noticed it myself.
Well, if you walk through the common room, you can feel the drafty bits. Personally, I blame Lorne, but we all know that deep down it was probably one of the engineers.
You want to pick a culprit, or...?
Well, it doesn't really matter so long as it gets fixed eventually.
Well, that's what the engineers are for, I guess.
That is indeed why they are here.
Yep.
I think the more problematic one is how the one of the hangars is actually 7 degrees hotter than all the rest of the ship. That's actually a little bit of a problem.
Which one of them?
Top left.
Well, I think that's just cause one of the cops likes to hotbox it in there, but that's up in the air too.
Well, I don't really think hotboxing inside a giant hangar is feasible.
You never know. With the power of hope and believing in yourself, anything's possible.
I don't think he has enough nicotine.
Hope and believing in yourself, Celeste.
Just looks at him, shaking her head.
He's just quiet.
And that's the scene that Tana walks in on.
Yep. Sorry about that. It's all handled now. I apologize. Pulls out chair, sits down.
Alright, so we got something to do here, or?
Well, we're back on track now. As I was saying, where I left off, third time's the charm. Celeste and I aren't in agreement about something concerning you.
Oh, fuck.
But I believe it's best we speak to you about it and involve you in the conversation if it's pertaining to you. That way, if there's any misunderstood sentiment, either by myself or the other party, looks at Celeste, then we can sort it out.
Alright, so,
Celeste rolls her eyes. She knows she's in the right.
go on then, I guess.
Right, so the point was as followed. Concern about power imbalance in our current arrangement due to a possible codependency.
Rem just squints at Hana while he's saying that, and then he's like, I swear to God. He looks at Celeste. We covered that.
No, what we covered was you deflecting and not answering any of the things that I brought up. And whenever I did get closer to the problem at hand, you started to clamp up very quick and kind of get aggressive.
Yeah, well, shock space ain't the best. Anyway.
Well,
Doc,
this
you
was
agree with
also
this?
not shock space as well in the second conversation we had.
Is Tana aware that you were awake in shock space?
I don't know if Rem mentioned it specifically.
His eyebrows up. But let's still continue.
No, Rem turns to Hana and he's like, Doc, you agree with this one?
No, personally, I don't see any codependency in our current arrangement. I believe it's something we have already thoroughly discussed between you and I, that there isn't really any set one person depends on the other or anything like that, nor is it expected of one to provide anything. There isn't really a heavy
There's
leaning
nothing.
on either side, nor I think it might credit a bit too much, just in general to our arrangement to imply that that's what we have going on. We both provide towards this in different but equivalent ways, and
We're equals,
rather-
we're adults, and we've discussed things. There's nothing going on here that you need to be concerned about.
However, if there's something I'm unaware of or haven't noticed, now would be a great time to. He just kind of motions towards Ram.
Is he saying that to Celeste or to Ram?
To Ram.
Okay. He just raises his eyebrows. You think I wouldn't have said something already?
I assumed you would, but I'm not going to speak on your behalf. That's not my place.
Well, then don't speak on my behalf. Just keep your trust in me a little bit. Jeez.
I
Celeste, it's fine.
See? That's what I mean. Whenever anyone hints that maybe there's a bit of a dependency issue there, you become incredibly defensive like that. If you didn't become so defensive, I wouldn't think there'd be a problem. From an outsider's perspective, 100% there must be something. But you are adults, you might have worked something out. But the mere mention of it causes you to act like that.
Because it's none of your business. You get that, right?
I understand it's none of my business, but I do understand the fact that anything that's incredibly unhealthy and toxic, plus my other concerns regarding just, well, Hana in general, most of which Hana managed to. You can see the pain as she says it. Elaborate and explain how it wasn't as it appeared. Doesn't change the fact that there is certainly a problem here. I had maybe hoped that you had worked out this problem or discussed this problem with Hana. Apparently not. As you also claim the exact same defensive card that's you played with me.
Look, I don't know what more you want me to say. There's nothing going on here, so there's nothing I need to defend.
Nothing.
I get something from this relationship, the Doc gets something from this relationship.
Transactional.
It's just transactional, exactly. It ain't codependency, whatever you want to call it. We've talked things out. The Doc knows how I feel, and I know how he feels. We're both going into this with a clear mind.
She kind of just like
Genuinely. The fuck is your problem with this situation?
I explained it many
You
times.
explained that
I'll
you think
explain
it's
it
toxic, but
again.
how is this toxic? And what does it matter?
When you are giving yourself too much over to one person, that leaves a huge power dynamic that person can willfully or unwillfully use to leverage against the person that's giving over so much more.
I
Your
think that it needs to
relationship
be. I
very
apologize.
much does
Continue.
look like that.
I think that it needs to be addressed, though, that because that is a situation that can happen does not mean
Doesn't
it is, because, as you stated, even if there was a sort of power imbalance, given that Ram has feelings and I do not,
It's not even that. She when she wants to continue, but she's trying to be respectful. She cuts herself off.
Thank you. You'll have the floor in a moment here.
not being so formal about it, huh?
He says, "Shit, damn it, Bree, your brain." Um,
You can do it.
I can't remember where he was. So he'll just give Celeste the floor.
Maybe can help jog a memory where he was saying that just because it can appear that way, it doesn't necessarily mean that.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. He said, just because it can appear that way doesn't mean it's necessarily the case. Even if there is the presence of a possible power dynamic, the responsibility rests on the party with that power. I'm not saying there is one, he says, looking at Ram,
Thank you.
to not use it.
In this case, there's no such situation. Like I said, the Doc and I are equals. Though I have feelings for him, and he doesn't reciprocate, that doesn't mean, Celeste, that I'm giving more of myself over in this situation.
It's not even the feelings that is the issue.
What the fuck is the issue?
The issue is the fact that you, Ram, are giving everything into
I
this
just said
relationship.
I'm not. I
But you
literally just said I'm
absolutely
not.
are.
Doc, are you hearing this?
It just raises its hands. Like, these are your emotions, not mine.
It looks as if you are. I understand how Hana phrases it, where there's the equivalent exchange going on here. But with that even with that in mind, because I can fully understand that relationships are all about compromise and all of that wonderful sort of thing. But I don't exactly see a healthy relationship as one in which one person is putting so much on the line for it compared to the other person.
What am I putting on the line for this exactly?
It seems, from what I have seen, it looks like that you are willing to do almost bar anything for this relationship.
From what you've seen, what exactly have you seen, Celeste?
She kind of does the entire thing of must I explain all of this again?
Because from where I'm standing, you're just shitting out words with not a single shred of proof to back them up.
Alright then. Your reactions to when... And because I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how Celeste would word it. Has same problem as the last time, but she brings up the situation where Ram had to... The situation where, Celeste was being, chewed out by people about the entirety of her, yes, I'm a secret spy, a winky face here to spy on Hana. and the emotions coming from not Ram was a little bit more intense than just a joke. She also brings up the situation regarding when the 3 times she has seen Hana get in danger, and how Ram, compared to the first time, which was back on the Iris station, compared to the other cases and she will even say that, yes, I can understand that, when people care for each other, they care for people a little bit more. But the fact that Ram basically stopped everything as soon as they realized that Hana was also in danger to go and do that, despite, that wasn't a good choice, and also Hana wasn't in immediate danger in that particular moment. The danger had passed, and yet Ram still went. Because that was what was the next one? That one was not the Rippers. What was because the Rippers will prove that. Yeah. That was one of the pirate encounters TM. And then the next one being the terrorist encounters, where there's a couple of those instances. But she will, again, clarify that I understand that, you care for Hana more, and so you want, but that's a little bit extreme. Ram's response, a little bit extreme. And Ram's response when she made her joke about being a secret spy towards Hana, a little bit extreme emotions coming from him. A little bit extreme.
I don't know if you're kind of comprehending what the hell you're saying, because you two talk shit out, right?
For the most
You've
part, yes.
explained to, yeah, right. So you understand that when you made a joke about being here specifically to spy on the dock, why I might have been a little bit concerned.
You weren't a little bit concerned.
Yeah,
You were
I thought
a
about
bit
killing
beyond that. You see, that is the problem.
Celeste. I think about killing half the people on this ship every other day. It's not that unusual.
Ram, that is the exact opposite of being fucking healthy.
Never said I
What
was
the
healthy,
fuck?
but it's not this relationship that's doing it.
She just is looking at him with an expression of like, this doesn't at all help with like the problems I have listed here, Ram. What the fuck? This is making it worse, sort of
He
expression.
shrugs.
She then looks over to Hana and says, have you talked that one out too?
This is the first I'm hearing about this.
She looks back to Ram and says, Ram, I am more than happy to admit that maybe I'm seeing things wrong. But then you come out here with things like that.
You're not exactly admitting shit so far.
Quite on the contrary, at the start of this entire thing, I did admit that Hana was able to convince me on some matters.
I think we're getting off topic.
But yeah, so I've presented the cases where you acted in a very extreme sort of manner in regards to just, well, in general, compared to where you initially were at the start of, well, prior to your relationship. Maybe you had a relationship then, but it wasn't as prevalent. I don't know. I'm not a stalker. But
Celeste,
what?
you're only bringing up situations where that's happened with the doc, but since situations have changed from the beginning, from the Iris mission, whatever you want to call it.
Which is why I brought up the Iris mission as well, to show a baseline of prior, because as far as I'm aware, it was after Lao Prime where you two hooked up.
It was after that. It was after a lot of shit. It was after then that fucking Mindy made me think about some things, and I think you'll find the doc isn't the only one to act that way about, okay?
I haven't noticed any with other people.
I don't think you've been paying that much attention.
And correct me if I'm wrong in this observation, Though I think the misunderstanding may be here. Well, perhaps there is a bias. I can't speak one way or another. If
Ram
so,
shrugs.
he looks at Ram to thank you. But if there is, regardless of if there is or isn't, I think there are additional factors, extraneous ones, which influence the outcomes of what we're viewing here. Yes, I am currently in an arrangement with Ram, but that what isn't being factored in is I'm also a non-combatant in combat situations, of which it is security's job to prioritize the non-combatants.
Counterpoint. Mindy and Finn and Rye are also deemed non-combatants. Both Rye and Finn,
Mindy and Rye.
I will say, are capable of defending themselves. I haven't noticed any reactions from Ram in the same matter in regards to Mindy. And the
Hilarious,
reason
'cause that
she
was one of the
hasn't is
ones I
because
was
she
gonna bring
hasn't been
up.
there.
Yep. I think you'll find if you ask anybody who was there in those situations.
I was there for the terrorist attack.
Congratulations, I wasn't hanging around the doctor in the terrorist attack, was I?
You were kind of hanging around the entirety of the group. The entirety of the group was hanging around each other.
Celeste. That's weak,
Ram.
you know it.
I even made a point where you had a extreme reaction during the terrorist attack involving the doc.
Yeah. The guy I love was about to be killed. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Not care?
I'd also been injured.
Are you kidding?
Almost everyone was injured by that point.
You, Hash, and
Uh-huh.
I were hit by an
By a
explosion.
fucking bomb, yes.
Celeste, I'm not in love with you and Ash.
I'm not expecting you to that. What I am
The
saying,
reaction's gonna be different. Are you kidding?
I think
I'm talking about the other points in time where other members were also put in substantial danger. You prioritized Hana, even though Hana wasn't actively in danger, over people that were actively in danger.
Celeste, Hana was looking after my kid. You know, Mac, my daughter. The child that I have to look after, who I handed over to the doc because neither of them are both of them are non-combatants and they can look after each other in that kind of situation. It makes it easier when they're both together. You understand that, right?
And what about the situations in which neither of them were in immediate danger, and yet you still prioritized them?
there wasn't a situation like that during the terrorist attack.
Well,
Nothing during the
quite
terrorist
on the
attack was-
contrary, when the two of you were deep into cover, yeah, I would say that during that moment you were as safe as you could be in the entirety of the circumstance.
As we,
Others were in line of fire, but two of you were not.
I think,
deep in cover, and what was I doing? I was out there fighting with the rest of them as soon as I got a gun. Are you stupid?
we don't need to devolve into insults.
Right. Sorry.
I don't remember the terrorist attack terribly well. Frankly, a lot of it is blurry for me. However, I do think in a situation like that, it is unfair to say anyone was in the wrong for defending anyone when we were all actively in danger. Just because myself and Mac were undercover meant very little. There are several instances where we narrowly avoided severe injury, not because we were undercover, but we were just in a lucky place. There were fighter ships up ahead. Cover didn't mean much. And regardless of that, I don't recall Ram being near me following after being hit by the explosion. I stuck closer to yourself and Hash.
It does look like she has more things to say, but
Mhm.
she kind of just shakes her head and says, "It's apparent that this is a stance that no matter what I say, it's not going to change. The fact that we're just going to keep on bringing up how that's not fair, we can't use that analogy, that's not going to work."
Well, no, continue, because this
No,
is
no,
the
it's
process of different evidence being cited, and then eventually we'll come to a. I am keep it. This is not 2 against 1, Celeste. I'm providing evidence on either side that I think is fair. I genuinely do not remember Ram being near me most of the time, and when it came, the time I can remember is he pulled me behind the table after we got hit, but Hash is the one that put me out.
Yes, it was indeed Hash that put you out from the explosion.
Okay.
There's no bitterness there. Promise.
Look, I'm not denying that I react differently when it comes to the dark. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter how. It's still none of your business.
To repeat that, please. I was talking to someone. Did you not hear
Why are you rolling? I did. Why are you rolling?
We're talking about a traumatic event. I'm gonna roll my cool, thank you.
Okay.
Did you take a significant minus? Oh, it doesn't matter.
It's in the past. Yeah.
I was gonna make -2, but you succeeded.
Ram said, I'm not denying that I react differently when it comes to the dark. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter why, and it doesn't matter how. It's none of your business.
This is, I think, all a bit. Not a bit. This is completely off topic from the original points we had, though.
Exactly.
Unless I could see the concern being with this, with the clear bias being that Ram prioritizes me in an instance where another person needs help more. Is this?
It is completely acceptable that Ram prioritizes you over others. That's not my point. My point was the fact the extreme responses.
Okay.
That was my point, as that was further emphasizing the fact that Ram is very much all in when it comes to you, which looks very unhealthy and is very unhealthy because that does leave a power dynamic.
Well, then I think continues.
You're not his slave owner, but he acts like a slave in comparison. It's all or nothing.
1 second.
One patented Hana cringe from that.
Yep, one patented Ram shutting down from that. Ooh, yep.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
Yeah, that sounds about right, honestly.
Roll.
That sounds about right.
Oh my God.
Alright, so I'm getting like a cringe and a like ooh from Ram.
You're getting like a don't keep going down that path from Ram.
Okay, well, you know what? Are you trying to mask your emotions because she is empathy?
That hit Hana's face. I don't think there's an amount of masking that could hit it. That was just a visceral oof. That was a patented visceral oof.
Mask his emotions. Before Ram had emotions on his face, and now there's nothing.
Okay, so it's very clear something's happened. Roll gamer. See if it's because she's trying to read you both right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hana's not defending, so I'll give you everything once you roll.
All right, so I got a 4 on Hana.
Okay.
Yeah,
And a 7 on Ram.
You win. Fuck off.
Okay, I'll go first, I guess, since I'm not defending. Just the pure visceral. Just this goes into cringe comp. It it's the you just said that about me to the Cadian.
Yeah.
The Ram, the Cadian, who this is a very sensitive subject for, you can tell Hana very much does not believe that's what the dynamic is, and it's really extreme to go there.
Well, you
And
see.
not only that, but it also hits a. You're getting all these because it's open.
Oh,
It's
good.
it's open season. Not only that, but you can tell it's really uncomfortable from several points of view for Hana, being just like as the idea of him having ownership over anyone else in that degree, but also from personal kind of experience from the other side as well.
Yeah.
It's a multi-sided oof.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Ram? Because this is what Celeste thinks. She never wanted to use the big guns, but she's like, this is how,
This
kind
is
of-
what's been coming from Celeste.
this is
Oh,
how she views it. She thinks that
she's fucked up.
she thinks it's a really bad situation.
Yeah, no, well, you're getting a whole lot of... That's horrifying from Ram. He's viscerally uncomfortable and incredibly put off, and
Remember, kids,
Just-
this is what happens. We have all of these people that don't know how to talk to each other.
yeah. And just like disturbed she would even think that, and disturbed she would apply that to this situation, and just like angry on behalf of Hana and himself at the same time because, excuse me, hello? Fuck off? You think I would let that happen? And just a whole lot of incredible vehement disagreement.
Celeste has more to say, but she's going to be quiet for a moment because this clearly struck a couple nerves.
You think?
She took a hammer and just put it right on the nerve. She's like, "How we doing?"
However, she will.
How the hell
if-
are you doing?
If we have a extended silence where no one's venturing something, she will speak.
There, I
Brenda
think.
stares at her.
I think there's some silence there.
Mhm,
Okay.
Yeah.
As Hana just is like recovering from that
Okay,
because
So
yike.
she will finally say, "Your reactions are a little bit not what I expected, but kind of emphasizes the point of why I see this relationship as a bit of a fucking problem. Because that is how, from the outsider's perspective and what I've seen, other relationships I've seen, that's how it's looking. And that's why
Revis
I'm
puts
so
up a finger.
concerned."
He puts up a finger and he pulls out his communicator and he calls up Amanda.
It's an HR meeting now.
All right. Hello?
Marlon,
Oh,
quick question.
what's going on there, Ram?
Does it look like Hana's a fucking slave owner to you?
Hana just looks at Ram like, "None of the fuck."
There's like a extended piece of silence from where she says, "Well, to be completely honest, when Hana had the yellow teeth, maybe, but
Oh,
no."
fuck off, Amanda.
Oh, hi, Hana.
Hi, how
Am I
are
on
you?
speaker?
I think you are, yes. No, I don't think you are.
Yeah.
You are on speaker.
All right. Where
Alright.
where did that really weird question come from, Ram? Well,
Oh, you know,
that
just
came from me.
double-checking some shit.
The all three of you are in the same room.
She just checked.
Well, you want to join in?
No, definitely not. What the fuck?
All right, thanks, Amanda. He hangs up.
Well, that
And
would.
he dials up. He dials up Hash.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, he doesn't pick up the first time.
He calls again.
Picks up. What's up?
So, hey, boss man.
Yeah.
Does the doc, Hana, does he look like a fucking slave owner to you?
What?
Does he look like a fucking slave owner to you? Does he act like one?
Slave driver, maybe.
Alright. Good to know. Thanks. He hangs up.
That's what. And then you hang up, and he was like, you're like, a couple seconds later, you get a call back from Hash.
He hangs
You
up
pick
on
up.
that before without even answering.
No, let him have his seat!
You get like a texted message of what's fucking context.
Hana begins.
He's text
Hana,
back Celeste being a bitch.
Hana quietly, while Ram is
There's
doing
a-
this, just
there's
begins
a-
a tally.
Oh,
And then he calls up Franklin.
Oh my god. Okay, we're really doing this.
Franklin picks up after a few moments. What? You don't normally call it? Is there a problem, Ram?
Nah, not between you and me, you good.
All
Listen,
right. What
One
do you
quick
need?
question, then I'll leave you be. Does
All
Hana
right.
look like a slave owner to you?
What's the context?
Celeste being a bitch.
I need more context than that.
Celeste thinks he looks like a slave owner.
There's a very extended period of silence. I like how you have 1-4 from Amanda's joke. you're giving Celeste the pity point.
That one's from Hash, actually.
Oh, okay. Then he will say,
Further definition, Ram. Look can apply physicality.
Sure. But does he act like one as the main guest? Just go for your gut, man. Do you think Hana would own a slave?
Maybe shout it to GM.
I think there's a distinct possibility that if his situation was right, he might.
Alright then.
But
He hangs up.
it's and you hang up. He's like, oh.
2 for 1 against.
He calls up Trent.
I what? You pick up Trent. Yeah. What's up?
Hey Trent, do you think Hana would own a slave?
Oh, one second. There's a quiet in the background. What is it?
You think Hana would own a slave?
Hana owning a slave? Nah,
Nice.
no. Not a single dom bone in his body, you know?
Wrong about that. He hangs up.
Celeste has like I didn't need to know that from you, Trent, sort of face.
And he calls up Zai.
Zai answers.
Hey little lady, one quick question, then you're free.
Alright.
Think Hana could own a slave?
What?
Do you think the doc could own a slave?
Why are you asking me this?
Reasons, just answer the question.
No. I'm gonna go with no.
Thank you. Hangs up. Calls up Finn.
Welcome to the floor, Finn.
Celeste is realizing that this is going on. She's just like, I don't think this is necessary. This is my opinions and my experiences here.
Well,
If your opinions are relevant, then everybody else's are too. So shut the fuck up and let it happen.
Oh my goodness.
hello?
Hey Finn,
Yeah, what's up?
you think Hana could own a slave?
What kind of question is that?
It's the question I'm asking. Answer it.
Just beat.
No, like, listen to what you're saying right now. This is Hana we're talking about.
There you go. Thank you very much. He hangs up. Hey, Melv.
You call up Melv.
Oh god.
Yep.
What is it, Ram?
Sorry to bother you, Captain. Bit of a situation here.
What,
Celeste
what
needs
kind of situation?
some reassurance that the Dark Hana, he wouldn't own a slave. I'm just getting everybody's opinions.
You're pretenting that question, Ram. It just if you're asking equally for everyone, if you're going to ask.
That was pretty equal, I say.
I think I misheard. I need to say that again.
Hana has one hand on like the pen he's marking with, the other is just rested in his hand. Like his face is just rested in the other hand. Like, oh god.
Alright,
A little bit slower, just so I can make sure I heard that right.
Alright, right.
You
Just
can
yes
like
or no.
hear him sitting up in his chair.
Do you
Of
think
like,
Hana
what?
would own a slave?
Do I think Hana would own a slave? I need the context. Why would Hana own a slave? Like, what's going on here?
No, just in general. Just going off his actions so far aboard the
Alright, so are you asking me if Hana, if presented the opportunity and needed a slave, would own a slave, or just if Hana was given the option right here, right now, to own a slave?
Right here, right now, if,
No.
this kind of... Yeah, there you go. Hangs up. Lawn.
He's calling her.
Yep.
I was asking because if they're in the same room after the call, Lord would have asked what that was about, based on Franklin's expression.
Frank would have been just like, they're asking if Han would own a slave for some reason.
Oh, there must be some kind of debate going on.
But why get me involved in it? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know.
He calls her up.
It's like right now.
Yep, right now.
I see. It's my turn. She says that like while like answering. Hello.
Hey, shorty. You think Hana would own a slave?
No, I do not.
Thank you very much. Hangs up.
You're welcome.
And then he just shoots a text to Mindy, and I'm gonna assume Mindy says no because that's
No,
just
you
how
can't
they do this
assume.
kind of thing.
You
Yeah,
can't
Alright,
assume.
All right then, Wrath.
ask
Wrath, where are you? Wrath, you
DM
bitch.
him.
No. I'm adding him in here.
Oh my god. It's so sensical.
Celeste is quietly fuming.
If she's gonna be so completely stubborn and not take anything they're saying at face value, he's gonna give them. Yes, of course. Ram will also, of course, send out a message to two.
Just like zero context to
When Hana owns slave.
Just give me a second, I'll type a response.
Please.
it's going to be like 5 paragraphs.
Yep.
Well, Rand's doing
Very
this.
complicated answer.
While Rand's doing this, Hana will look to Celeste and, like, quietly, like, he doesn't want to interrupt what Ram's doing, so he quietly is just saying, well, this could be considered an ethos argument. This is not statistical data that could be used in any sense.
Celeste just chooses to not say anything.
Ram looks at the answer that he gets on his comm, and he just kind of like puts that back down and doesn't count Mindy's.
Everything counts if you're doing this, Ram.
All right then.
Forget.
The answer is, yeah, if it's a consensual sex thing.
Still 4. Puts it on down.
There's like disgust in that sigh from Celeste. Who's he calling?
And Ram
next?
holds up a finger. He's waiting for 2, and 2's gonna be the last person.
Oh, what? You're not gonna ask 6 for her opinion?
Yeah, get 6's
You know what?
opinion.
I did forget about 6, but
How
the
dare
thing
you.
is,
No, ask
Ram
6.
has a point to make about 6. So
You're not gonna ask Harkin?
fuck Harkin. Fuck Harkin as conspiracy theories. No.
Does Harkin not get a say in this very private?
No,
What
no,
a-
he does not.
What about Joy?
I was actually gonna bring Joy in here. You know what? Okay, fine. Considering he's asked everybody else, he will call up 6.
A 6 turns on the communicator and says, "Speaking."
Maybe 6s. Hana the doc. Slave owner or no?
Moment of silence before they say, "No."
Thank you. Quick. And for what it's worth, Celeste, you should definitely take that last one.
What was it that she said?
No.
She said no.
Hmm.
We're putting 2 down as a yes. And then Ram looks to Hana and he says, "Now, to be fair in this argument, Doc, do you think you would own a slave?"
Just face still in one hand. No, I would not own a slave.
It's alright. So Celeste doesn't take his like pause as like a thing I need to think about this, just a pause of exasperation that this is still happening.
And then he looks at Celeste and he's like, "Now I think we all know your answer to this."
My answer is that I don't think Hana would willfully do it.
Puts the
Would
5
you
through
look at
4.
that? Well, it seems the overwhelming majority disagrees with you.
So now that this is done, he takes the notepad, he rips it off, and he places the page down, puts his hand on it. This is useless. This.
But it's
I understand that's how the crew feels. And 2, please. That was a very quick email response. But
we say it's punctual.
this is beyond what Celeste was talking about, I think.
Yes, I'm talking about a power dynamic as how I view it. I don't think it's exactly that, but I think it's similar level of grossness.
And I'm saying,
It looks
considering-
very bad from my perspective, yeah.
Considering shit you don't know fuck all about. Neither the Doc nor I would ever be in that kind of relationship. You understand me?
She's gonna do a deep dive empathy on you, or at least try to.
Mhm.
I hope she gets another 7. I don't think she will.
Just don't crit fail. Just don't crit fail.
I do need you to roll if you're trying to hide stuff.
He isn't.
Alright, 6 successes.
That's enough for him to be able to give her the proper answer. Thank God.
Thank
So
God.
it's true what he's saying in this moment. From this point on, he doesn't consider that he would ever be in that kind of relationship. But there has been moments in the past where he has been in that kind of relationship.
So-
Absolutely.
Does she get any sensation that he views that this relationship started off like that? Or
Nope.
like or that like it's just changed?
Nope.
Okay.
This relationship is as it is.
Okay, so she takes a very deep
And
breath.
we keep on saying relationship here, but neither Hana or Ram acknowledge this as a relationship. I'm gonna say that much.
It's a relation, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Even if they refuse to acknowledge it. She'll take a small breath. That's good to know then. Shakes in another breath and then says, with that in mind, because I don't think you are trying to be a scumbag with it for once.
Who's she saying that to?
Once.
Ram.
Okay.
Yes, I don't think that you're trying to, I don't know, misdirect your intent or whatever it is you normally try to do to hide things. I'm going to take your word for it. Again, I don't think Hana would willfully participate in anything like that.
I can agree with this sentiment.
But
I
I
have
am
no interest in the matter.
at least glad that those fears of mine are unfounded.
That was a pain in the ass. Alright.
Well, maybe you shouldn't make things so much more difficult than they need to be.
Maybe you should just get to the point you want to make in the first place.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this thing called tact where I don't talk about slavery to the fucking Cadian.
The attack doesn't help you much. Everybody talks about slavery to the fucking Katie, and you think you're special?
I said I'm trying not to, because it's trying to be tactful.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just say what you think. I tried to get you to be honest before, and you're telling me now this is what you was really bothering you.
I told you before that I felt that it was incredibly gross. I didn't think I needed to further explain
nothing.
it.
That says nothing.
That says that it is that I view it as
It could mean you think I suck his toes. What the fuck am I supposed to take from it? It's incredibly gross.
That is a kink and a fetish. That has nothing to do with anything else. That's on your conscience, not mine.
The point is, I had no idea what you were getting at. And this whole thing could have been resolved a lot easier.
Oh my god. Oh, sorry, she doesn't say, oh my god. She's like,
I know, I feel that pain so hard.
I'm always like, Christianity isn't a big thing in this universe. Oh my god.
I think that.
I've given up. I'm just assuming that the phrase continued without the actual thing.
Alright, so does this cover point 1?
Yes. And I'd say that it may even partially cover, I need to look at it, the dependency issue as well. But maybe not that.
I think we should still get there.
Alright.
So, we've established Ram is not codependent. Yes? Looks at both?
Oh yeah.
We've also established that there's no power dynamic no gross power dynamic, yes.
Yes.
Thank God for that.
So, point number 2, I think can be taken out. Why, if he has this issue, or what it could be, we've established that there is no issue. Proving the null hypothesis, there is lack of evidence showing the existence of a codependency.
Yes.
So, skip that. Point 3. If not dependent, the statement or worry or concern is that Ram is using myself as means, as he does not have Freya any longer.
Which kind of connected to the entirety of a codependency thing.
I believe this is a separate issue, not a timely one, but a separate one.
Alright, so question, the fuck does that mean? What means to what?
Oh, that's why I'm saying that I believe that this one is also connected to the entirety of the dependency issue.
It specifically says if not dependent.
She reads it again.
He rolls his eyes like, God, read the points, people.
Rem hasn't looked at them.
Celeste will say, well, I would say in that case, more so along the lines of, yeah, no, fuck, Chance is drawing a blank, 1 second.
No worries. I'm gonna add to my list of things to do to have an apology ready for a couple of people concerning that.
Are you going to go around doing the
Oh
apology?
no,
round?
I'm not doing my rounds. I'm not a goddamn arbiter. But
Okay.
just a couple like, yeah, you weren't involved in that. Just you could just disregard that.
Alright, yep, she will say, well, in that regards, I would say that it is in reference to I think the phrase of it kind of connects it back to there being a dependency issue, but it also clearly not. It's not. So I'd say it's more in regards to the fact that it seems that Ram has a very strong desire to have a orderly or sense of order or something like that, which is why the slavery concept came up before, and all of my points of a power dynamic. It's all kind of interconnected, that there seems to be a more deep-rooted problem with Ram.
Looks to Ram.
Well, you're not going to talk about me like I'm not right here this time.
Cock's head to side.
Celeste is also like, what?
The entire point of this is to include you in this.
He rolls his shoulders and he just says, I don't have that issue, and I never will. Alright.
Empathy, I know you're lying to me.
I am also going to empathy.
8 successes, motherfucker.
8 successes? The fuck are you on, Celeste?
She
what
has
the
god
hell?
rolls. She always has god rolls. It kills me.
She doesn't bro, the shock space, she was having shit luck and you know it.
I know it, but why was it only the shock space? Why?
Shock space is her nemesis.
I can't find something that I need to check, and it's a problem.
What are you looking for?
Sec. It should be notes of where it should be, but I lose everything.
Okay, well, for 8 successes on Celeste, he's lying. But, there is a but there.
Say again?
There is a but there.
Okay.
He's lying, he has had that issue. And he doesn't- I knew you were gonna ask about that. One sec, Bree.
Can't believe keeping secrets from your GM, single tier.
No,
Found it! Found it!
You found it after I answered you. It's useless.
No, I'm sorry!
It's just the, trumpeter stuff.
Marked in my notes now as trumpeter shit. Okay. I got 2 successes on empathy. You know, not all of us can be Celeste.
You only ever need one with Ram. Why are you even trying?
Fuck off!
So the answer is yes. He has had that issue in the past. But the entire reason... I can't give you that, actually. You can't read minds.
Yeah.
So they can
Yeah.
tell he's lying to a degree.
To a degree. He's lying, but he actively fights against it. He knows it's a problem, and he tries to change it as much as possible.
And to clarify, what Celeste said was specifically he was trying to find someone to tell him what to do.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
basically, yeah. He is looking for.
And he definitely disagrees to that part. He's just lying about not having had that problem in the past and not having that problem in the present. He doesn't
so
agree that this
one
relationship
second.
with Hana is him trying to find
I'm gonna.
someone to give
I'm
him
gonna-
instructions.
I'm gonna very quickly see if Celeste is going to take it as it's meant to be taken, or take it as Celeste will take it. All right.
Yeah.
You lucked
Take it
out.
as Celeste will take it. Come on, you coward.
I rolled for it because she. I gotta
Very
remember
high empathy.
she did get a high empathy, and she also, you know, despite being Celeste TM, she does care for Ram.
She's doing this from a place of care, but fuck Celeste, if you could, you...
I know, right?
Jesus. You couldn't be doing it more wrong. Alright. So, he just shakes his head and he says no.
Looks to Celeste.
I think there's something that you need to elaborate, Ram.
Mm-hmm. What would that be?
Do I need to have my rant about how you deflect things again?
What am I deflecting here?
Do I need to have my rant?
This is from Con. I forgot the question.
She said you need to elaborate.
Not that question, the one before it, that I need to elaborate on. Sorry.
It's okay. Basically, you said she's asking about the part in which you said he's lying.
Basically, she's calling him out for his lie.
Okay. He sighs and he shrugs and he says, fine.
Like, if you don't want me here for it, fine, I can fucking leave. I understand it might be a personal matter, but... She points at Hana. The very fucking least, make sure at least one person knows what your fucking beef is, okay?
He just squints at her. I mean, you're the one with a problem. What the good will it do to tell the doc?
Because Hana's shit at lying.
Uh-huh, so you're gonna
After the
interrogate him
fact,
afterwards?
no, after the fact, I can just be like, Hana, did Ram tell you about his problem, and did it sound like it's an actual problem, not something you already know, and try to, like, deceive you? And Hana says, yes, Celeste. I can be like, great. And if he says, well, no, Celeste, I can be like, well, shit.
Well, we might as well just avoid the middleman in that, then.
It's
If I'm
more so
gonna
the fact that
tell
I'm trying
someone, I
to
don't give a
care
shit.
about the fact that maybe, you know, you want it to remain private.
If I do, actually, but this entire situation has kind of thrown that to the wayside. You haven't cared about it, my shit remaining private this entire time. Why the sudden change of heart? I keep on telling you, none of this is your business. But you want to know, so I'm gonna have to explain myself, apparently.
She kind of looks at him and then says, "It's none of my. You're right. It's none of my business the exact details of things. A lot of my concerns have thankfully been addressed, and that's great. I'm trying to now show you, and Hana to an extent, that I'm trying to also be a fucking adult here and respect your wishes that it's none of my fucking business. So that we can all move on. I just want to make sure that at the end of the day,
If this came
you're
out
not
of
getting fucked up.
concern, you could have told Joy and got him to come to me. You could have told Lauren. You could have told a professional who deals with this kind of shit on a regular basis. But you stuck your nose in because you're a nosy bitch. Alright? And I don't really care where it's coming from at this point. I just want to get it done with. So sit your ass down. Ask whatever questions you have as I talk. Okay?
And could you elaborate on that lie of yours and not lie, maybe?
I don't know if it.
Because it seems like you understand there's a problem. It also seems like you're actively, I wouldn't say denial because it seems like you're aware of it.
You think?
Ram,
Yeah.
you lie so often. It's hard to actually know what you think. Like, you say that I made this entire situation difficult? For fuck's sake. Half of the words you've said to me in our first two conversations were lies.
Yep.
And that's probably not you. That's me probably underestimating it.
However, what he said to me hasn't been. So.
And I'm going to hope that that is 100% the case. Because I'm not going to question that entire aspect of things.
Here I was thinking you were about to say telling the truth is toxic. Right, so, in the past, I've had some bad relationships. They aren't even classified as relationships, but since that's the kind of phrasing we're going with for this situation, sure. I've had
She's about to say something, but she stops
in
herself.
positions of power.
I'm gonna empathy her. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Three successes. That's the most successes I've ever gotten out of empathy.
It's
so
just
happy
like
for you.
it's just disbelief. She's just like, you're not gonna what? You're not calling this a relationship? But she's like, nope. I'm just gonna push that down. No, we're not here to talk about that.
Oh, Celeste didn't get. Well, Hana had that. Never mind.
Anna did strictly state that, I think. Yeah.
Yes, but she is just like she understands Hana saying that. It's Hana, but Ram saying it, she's just like, the fuck is wrong with you?
They've talked it out, and to both of them, this is just an arrangement.
She's just like, if that's how Ram views it, we're back at square one. It's why she's refusing to. It's why she's like, no, they're in disbelief. Because
Hana watches the denial
if this,
form.
Because if this is just an arrangement for these two, Ram has a fucking problem.
Even
This is funny.
I leave it on. I take us back to square one, and we don't get $200. Oh, thank God. Okay, she's leaving it.
So she doesn't say anything? And he
No,
doesn't say anything?
she silences herself.
Okay.
There's just a flash of like disbelief of like, what the fuck?
Hana takes a moment to give Ram a beat of like gives him that look of like, are you gonna address this? Because I'm not going to.
He doesn't say shit.
Go for it.
He just lets whatever silent byplay there was pass, and he keeps on going. He says, "There have been times when people in positions of power over me have used that, and I've also had some relations with them at the same time. I think that's what you're getting at with this kind of thing, right? Except,
Yes.
in this case, that's not happening. For one thing. For another thing, we're equals. The Doc hasn't got any power over me. For a third thing, those were very extenuating circumstances in the past, alright? Very extenuating. And I'm not getting into that. Because as much as I've been saying it this whole time, I'm gonna double down. That is none of your business.
Celeste uses her willpower to not crack a joke, because this is not the time for that.
I will lay on my
Proud of
deathbed.
her. I'm so proud of her.
I'm gonna lay on my deathbed wondering what it would have been.
Give us the joke, Jets.
I'll give it only to Brie so that she doesn't lie on her deathbed wondering what it is.
Thank you. Thank you.
I see how it is. Alright, and Ram shrugs and he says, those situations left me with a certain state of mind regarding things, and that's fine and dandy, but it doesn't mean that that applies to everything I do, alright? I recognize it. I've had time to come to terms with it. And I can fight it. Okay?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be the one to do it. I'm not gonna ask you to repeat it, but can I get? My brain went wee. I'm so sorry.
He says, basically a summary. He had those situations that he's been in the past have left him with a certain state of mind. He recognizes it. He can fight it. This is not that situation.
He's actively aware. There's a kind of weird bias in his head. Okay. I'm not. Well, I think that covers the last point.
I think it does.
So
This isn't my place. I'm just going to say, regardless of that, because we've already kind of tossed that to the wind. Please, at the very least, I don't know, talk it out with someone, at the very least. You say that you are working on it yourself, just those sorts of things are difficult to work out.
Funny you say that. I do talk it out with people, like I've told you before. You just don't happen to be one of them.
She knows that you don't, though.
He does a little bit?
She's literally just looking at him with the expression of, Ram, we just discussed this.
No, he does a little bit. He does a little bit. bit.
She ends and she will say, Ram,
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna get a rise out of me like that.
Shame.
For you, maybe, yeah.
When can I leave this situation?
Yup. We've gotten through all 3 points. I've done my job.
I was here for it. Let me be free.
Well, I think that's that. I'm gonna go leave now.
Are you saying for success?
No, I'm typing that up to you.
You give me that before she leaves. You give me that.
Okay, fine. I'll give it to you before she leaves. So
The moment I unmuted the
You think that
chat.
wouldn't influence things? He's not a complete monster.
he is a monster.
I said not a complete monster. How many messages did you get while we were doing this?
Many.
Why is your work attacking you?
They're not, they're just casually chatting.
No.
Chance, that would have changed what he said, you bastard.
I was typing it up.
You just. Can we retcon?
Yes, I if this would have a major impact, I think we can retcon of Bree is all right with it.
Oh, go for it. Where are we retconning at?
Just before Ram said his nasty things.
Yeah, but before he attacked Celeste for literally no reason.
He, instead of doing the horrible, terrible thing he just did, he looks at her and he shrugs and he says, "It is what it is."
Boop, 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 boop.
Do you have any other questions?
No, that's quite everything. Well,
Well,
thank you both for indulging me.
we've covered this. Then
Yeah.
this isn't an issue anymore.
No, it's not a mission anymore.
Well, glad we could all come to an understanding
Big fuck for that.
concerning this.
She does stand up.
He looks at her. We're at an understanding, right?
On all of these matters, yes.
Oh, there's more now. Okay.
Well, the only one is quite literally just call it a fucking relationship. Just stop beating around the bush. It's weird.
Coxhead decide.
Cox
But
head
that's-
decide.
That's not a problem, though. It's just you two being weird. She goes to a door.
Uh-huh.
She kind of pauses, looks back at it, like Ram's reaction. Oh, and she just says, "You two are in a fucking relationship."
I don't believe
Accept
I ever
it
put those
and move
words
on.
to it.
Hana is doing the math calculation meme.
Yeah, Ram's just sitting there blink.
I'm not a relationship specialist. Talk to Amanda about this one. I'm
You've
leaving.
been acting like it.
No, I've been acting like someone who is genuinely concerned for a lot of reasons, and I'm glad to learn that most of my reasons are ill-founded.
Uh-huh. Wait, you said
Have
most.
I did say most. I'm unable to admit defeat. It's in my blood. Have fun. And she leaves.
One moment. No, not her. Her. She's good to go.
Ram just sits there like he's still blinking.
Relationship.
Uh-huh.
Let's see here. Definition. Well, damn. Fourth definition.
He looks.
An emotional and sexual association between two people.
Oh, would you look at that?
It took so less of old people to make these people fucking realize.
How
It's
about
over.
that, Doc?
Is that what we're going with?
If you wanna. One sec.
Celeste sabotaging herself. Single tear.
Does it change anything? Or is it just a semantics?
I mean, seems about the same as always.
Seems?
You can change it if you want to. I don't give a damn.
Well, sure. It can be, I suppose.
Does that make you... Nah.
We've been
Yes, I know.
discussing for about an hour. If you're about to stop discussing right now, short of us figuring things out, I'm going to leave.
I'm thinking. Give me a fucking second. They've been making me use my brain all day.
The chat's active again.
Sounds like you're in demand. Alright then. I guess this makes you my boyfriend?
And so, Hana died this day.
Math meme.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose if that is the term you wish to use,
Not particularly.
I will admit I'm not particularly fond of it, if you have an alternative.
He watches Hana's face, he lists off lover, partner, friend with benefits, you know what, let's stick with lover.
Lover?
Lover.
Okay, that works.
Yep.
That's fine.
Ram just flops himself beside him.
Cats, you did very well. That was a
Terrible.
lot. No, it wasn't. Why was it that bad?
She doesn't know when she's wrong and she refuses to give up.
She misunderstood several points, and the entire goal was to bring about understanding to an extent in which I was not capable.
This has been going for days, Doc.
And now it's over.
Now it's over. Fine, sure. Congratulations, you did good.
Thank you. I wasn't looking for the praise, but I will readily accept it for my efforts.
Yeah.
How long has this been going on for then? She mentioned several previous talks. Apparently you were awake in shock.
Yeah, I was training. Yeah.
Is that safe?
Nope.
Okay.
You know, me and Celeste got in a fight. Well, I shouldn't call it a fight.
An altercation, physical,
Yeah.
mental, personal, etc.
Definitely mental, definitely personal, bit physical. Shock was affecting us, I think.
Is
The
that
same points over and over, and she just kept on digging.
and you weren't in the right state of mind in that environment to be able to discuss?
Well, you think back to you should have been.
And shock can sometimes do nothing, and sometimes it can do a whole lot.
Yeah, we thought it was doing nothing for a while there.
Be mindful if you do it again. Or at very least, a sticky note would be nice.
You wanna know?
A little forewarning would be good in case something happens.
Alright.
You should probably
next time.
inform one of the superiors as well.
Marlon knew.
Oh, good.
She was keeping an eye out.
Okay.
Well,
then,
she was
you're
fine
ahead of me
asleep,
there.
but
So she wasn't.
she was dead asleep. I'm not. Yeah.
But she was aware you were staying up at the very least.
It's not like it would have been without knowledge.
So maybe next time,
Yeah.
Hello, I'm going out for a bit of
Mother arrives.
So what was the last thing you said?
Oh, so maybe next time, perhaps arrange for someone within the room to be awake in case of an emergency. And oh
you
my!
want to be woken up?
Sorry, 1 second. Trent's calling.
He never stops. This has been the RP of endless interruptions.
Right.
Oh, shipbreaker, my old nemesis.
I hope you like it.
It just rolls around my head. Over and over.
I think it's fine.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I say hello, Andrew immediately mutes.
You will not get a response.
He says, someone staying up at the very least, perhaps in case of emergency.
Right, so are you saying that you want that person to be you?
I didn't say that. I mean, if you prefer, but realistically, Ram, if an emergency happens, I am not the person you would count on to get you out of a squeeze.
You know, if an emergency happens, nobody's gonna be the person we count on. That's what Ram says.
I disagree with that. There are others who could help.
They're also gonna be taken by the same thing, and I won't be able to, you know, work my magic if they're around.
Is there someone who knows, who's also composed and would be well enough, or is that what Celeste is there for?
That's what Celeste is there for.
Okay.
It's easier when you got 3 people.
Sympathy.
Aww. Who just pats on his hand. Enough of that, anyway. So, can I get food?
Yeah, that. What a way to work up an appetite.
Right.
Perhaps we should leave some in the security office. So let's start our shift in about an hour. And doing so, I think, would be a nice peace offering. I understand that we're all done here, but just that was quite a lot.
He makes a face. Sure, why not?
I know you're not partial to it, but we can
didn't
be
say that.
civil. Patch, we can be civil.
Okay.
Any preference? It all tastes the same.
Grease.
Gets up, smiles.
All right.
And we're
Thanks,
good.
Cadoodle.
We good.
Nice.
Finally.